Going live soon.
That was the fakest countdown and fake countdowns ever.
What's up, boys? What's up, boys?
Technically
Happy
good.
Thursday. Mike and Johnny out here in Rochester. What's up, boys? How you doing today?
What's going on?
Chilling.
Just chilling, watching. Trying to get some Thursday night football game on. Jamie, I'm mad at you because you made me take out James Conner, and now I forgot to put him back in.
It's Thursday night.
Yeah,
I
bro.
know,
you
but
got
I
time.
left Chase Edmonds in.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
fine,
he
that's
just
fine.
dropped a touchdown pass.
He did?
Ooh.
Yeah. It was
Oh, he
third
did?
and four.
Okay.
He dropped one in the back of the end zone. He didn't
Oh,
catch it.
Straight in a dynasty league, baby.
Well, boys, we're all back. I enjoy Pat, how's the new house?
It's a house.
Does it have 4 walls or 3?
It's got all the walls actually,
That's
Oh,
good
okay.
stuff.
and a roof.
Is that Jim
No way.
Morrison behind you swinging
No,
the ball?
you're-
Oh, Jimmy Page.
Jimmy
It's
Page.
it's tough to
Jimmy
get a roof these
Page.
days.
Roofeed or roof? Okay,
Yes.
that's a different conversation.
He said yes. Well, we got a good show. We have Mr. Judge hitting his 61st.
Yes, sir.
We have all the sports pretty much teeing up here. We got preseason,
All the ones that
hockey
count.
and NBA, and then college basketball. And then we have what else we have today, Mike?
We're going to be talking about does it make sense that the NFL, which is a North American sport, a North American created and based sport, goes overseas to play games?
And that's it. And then we got that's it. We're done.
No, and then
All right, good podcast, guys.
we're also going to be
And we're done.
we're done.
Let's have a
No.
beer.
We're also going to be talking about if right now is the best time of year for sports, and if you say no, then you have to give us what is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ooh.
And of course, your standard
Stump the squad.
Da.
But first, boys,
Go.
what you sipping on? What you sipping on, Jamie?
I gotta go get my drink. It's still in the fridge.
All right, go ahead.
Ah!
I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Pat in the hat. I know. What do you? I guess what you got. I can guess. What
Yeah, everyone can. Go on. It's a classic.
Is it this?
Just sponsor us already. Come on.
I know, seriously.
I know. I like Labatt Blue even more.
I took the opportunity on our countdown to run to the fridge and run back, Mr. Jamie.
Nice hustle.
I appreciate that.
That's all I got, baby. I'm all hustle.
I got me another ting, gentlemen, because this ting just goes down
What
so
is that
nice on a
ting?
Thursday night.
Ting ting.
Ting.
Is that alcohol?
Mm-mm. It's a grapefruit kind of soda out of Jamaica. Sparkling grapefruit.
Oh, okay.
Flavored beverage. Pat, what you sipping on?
Yeah,
Oh,
I told
the classic.
Didn't see it. Oh,
The classic.
love
You know
that. Gentlemen, what y'all got? I know y'all got a
One stop
Corona,
real bad,
and
baby.
Mike has a.
Yes, sir. Corona Premier. I'm watching my figure.
Simply spiked lemonade.
Of course.
Look
Not
at you
eligible. It
guys.
ain't Mikey.
I'm trying to watch my. I'm trying to make sure my figure stays round.
You guys couldn't drink the same drink.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Watching it like that, they were doing, I guess, an ode to Federer, and they were playing old school matches on the Deuce, and there was a booth that both McEnroe's and what's his name again, Steve. He does all the coverage for the tennis. Can't remember one of the announcers, and they were so tight, they were shoulder to shoulder, touching like this in a booth this big, and I'm like, why? In a giant tennis stadium, would they have them in a little tiny booth where they literally have to sit for 3.5 hours to call a tennis match like this? I mean, that is very poor planning.
To be fair, John's taking up most of the frame.
Give me Mike. Mike.
Yeah, in my apartment. All this happening in my apartment.
Yes, boss.
Yes.
Well, we
Love
gotta talk about how Jamie kicked my butt this weekend in fantasy. Hold on.
I
gotta
did
get
really
the
think
scores
about it. I
up.
got lucky.
The weekly Cinco Squad fantasy football update.
Yeah. Thanks to
Just skip my
thanks to
game.
the Broncos not showing up because that offense seems to be not in Colorado right now. So,
So
Let's ride.
Jamie got me by 8. I was actually surprised because my kicker actually got me 14 points.
Yeah, he was creeping up.
I was like, okay,
You know,
yeah,
creeping
hold
up on me to come back
just
from
kick
behind.
field goals to win it.
Oh, that was the league you had Granby now, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he beat me 123 to 115. Pat's 7 beers deep right now.
Six.
But he's 6 beers deep on Sunday.
yeah.
He
6
beat
beers
Rick
deep, baby.
155. Fonz actually scored more than 70. He got 104 this week, but he lost 110 to 104 to Tyler.
Close
Okay,
game.
so hold on. I gotta say something. Tyler said this is rigged, but he's the only undefeated person in our league right now. So
Yeah, I don't get it. What's rigged? What is he? What's
Tyler,
rigged?
if you're listening, that's you. It's not rigged.
We know what we're doing up in Syracuse, man.
First of all, we haven't made no unfair trades amongst one another to rig it for a Cinco Squad member to win. So I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, we got time.
I have a fantasy football message from Fonz.
What's that?
Fonz wants to tell everybody in the league any wide receiver on his roster is open for trade because he needs a running back.
Ooh, I'm the team
As
of
is
running
about
backs,
everybody
baby.
in the league. Fonz
I got
needs,
Taylor. I'm about to
Fonz
give
needs
him more.
receivers, not running backs. Look at his team. He's desperate for a running back. Not a
So Trey dominated my dad 131 to 86. And then OP defeated Mike 141 to 116.
Yeah, it was not a good week for me.
Nah.
It's
Nuts.
a rough week. Rough week for the squad.
Well, you know, when Jacksonville just decides to suddenly be good.
So it looks like Pat's leading the East Division.
What up, baby? 6 beers.
And then Tyler's leading the West Division. 2-1 and
Told
3-0.
you,
So
we know what we're doing in Syracuse.
no, you don't.
We had a fantasy
Speaking of-
football podcast.
I mean,
I left. But yeah, it was a good week of fantasy football. I don't know who the matchups are this week. I haven't looked. I think I'm playing Trey actually. But Jamie's got OP. Pat's got Fonz. Mike has Tyler Malfa, and then my dad has Rick. So should be some good matchups.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh.
Jacksonville's not only surprisingly good, they're a top 10 offensive team. They're a top 10 defensive team. They're top 10 against the rush. And right now they look poised, balanced, young, athletic. And they might be around for a while if they can keep Lawrence healthy and just kind of figure out that division right now is that ain't nobody really good. So if they step up and they win a couple games they're not supposed to win, I think first of 9 wins that division this year.
Finish
Yeah, but I mean,
finish
let's
the
be honest.
statement, Jamie. Finish the statement. They're gonna lose this
To the
weekend,
bird.
and it's not gonna be pretty for them.
It's actually probably going to be more competitive than
It's going to be more
these guys
competitive
think
than
right
you
now.
think. Yeah, it's going to be because Doug wants to make a statement in
Yeah.
Philly.
You know,
And
Doug
so
circled
you
that
made a-
one
you
right
made a
away.
mistake.
He circled that one in training camp like, boys, this is our Super Bowl.
Hey, man,
And
they
they-
tear
and they
that statue
ultimately-
down right before the game.
So to your point, Jamie, they ultimately all seem to love playing for Doug. I mean,
Yep.
he's a player's coach at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's him and
I mean,
Urban
I
Meyer.
never thought he wasn't. The problem with him in Philly is the problem is Howie and him never got along. If your GM and your head coach are never going to get along and never going to listen to how I'm going to coach my team,
Yeah.
I said this. And I said this to you, Pat, that Howie and Doug don't get along. So anytime Doug says, "Hey, draft this guy," or "Hey, get this guy," Howie just does the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It just seemed like in spite. Like
Well,
I said,
it's also Jeffrey Lurie being with Howie on everything that he does.
Yeah.
It's Jeffrey Lurie and Howie. It was
And now
never the
Nick
head
is
coach.
just so young that he's grateful to get the position, and he's basically just going to listen to him and coach what he's got.
So you can
so-
see he can adapt too. He can have a different line of thinking than Doug Peterson.
And dogs are rolling though.
But
hey,
with
it's
that
only-
being said,
I always-
Doug
like I-
Peterson can develop a quarterback.
yes, he
I'll
can.
tell you that.
Correct.
But I'll
And-
tell you, I'll tell you something. Like, it's only week 3, and I keep saying this to all of you. It's only week 3. Like, I pump my brakes on the Eagles. Well, I'm saying they're only through week 3. Like, they're only through week 3, so they got a whole long season to go. They got a lot of tough games coming up.
No breaks, all gas, baby. Go
I mean, I
Birds.
hope so. I mean, if I'm wrong about the Eagles and they end up winning the NFC, I'm cool. But
Someone made a great comment in favor of Jacksonville now about your boy Doug, saying that there's now a true leader of men, and there's a man in the locker room, not a boy.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought one of the analysts on ESPN said that, and really ripping into your old boy Urban Meyer, but rightfully so, because from the time Meyer got there, he acted like a child. So
I don't own it. I don't own that.
I'm
name.
messing with you because I know that's your rival.
No way. I'm good. That's
You
Trey.
hated him when
That's
Ohio
Mr.
State. I hated
Cinco.
him
That's
before
Mr.
then. I
Cinco.
think his whole squad all around has no love for him.
That's Mr. Cinco's goat boy, and even he don't know him. But yeah, I mean, NFL's. I think every game has been like really close, and there's no, it's really a. And you said this last week. You said no, Buffalo. I think Jamie, didn't you say this last week? Like Buffalo and the Chiefs are the two most dominant. Like they're like the runaway favorites right now. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I'm not saying I don't agree with you, but I also think
that's the thing is the NFL is week by week. You can that
balanced.
Statement was true last week. This week,
balanced.
not so true.
Correct. I think
balanced.
for the first time, we saw how much the Chiefs missed Tyreek last week. Someone who could just make a play. And then, in fairness to the Bills, 6 starters out on defense, and they still had 2 chances to win that game, and they blew it both with terrible, terrible clock management. Dak Prescott. And and not once but twice in the game. And we saw that OC just go nuts and throw like a fit at the end of the game because of what happened, and they couldn't spike the ball and at least get a chance to kick it. But look,
he
helped
Tom Brady out, man.
Miami's trying to be the only 4-0 team in the league so far, and Philly would have to join them. And fittingly so that the Dolphins, if Miami's still the only unbeaten team, which would be great irony, the Dolphins are going to have to celebrate their own team losing because, they always pop champagne every time the last team team wins. So the irony this year would be you got to do it against your own Dolphins, which just seems so stupid.
It's funny though, like like everyone putting that as like that game, but it was actually the game against Baltimore they did that when they came back after 21. They didn't do that after the Buffalo game.
No, I'm saying that Buffalo lost the game.
Right. I get that, but like the whole popping champagne, I'm saying
no, they pop champagne when the last unbeaten team loses
every year.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Whoever's left of that team gets together.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
They might have to do it to themselves.
Oh, okay.
That's the point I'm making. Yep.
Ultimately,
it is kind of refreshing, honestly, to see the amount of energy that Miami has this year, though.
Yeah.
How do you not get hyped up for all the players and all the team, everything that they're doing to surround?
Well, you got the 2 fastest wide receivers in the league.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
They have a combined 1,500 yards in like 3 games and almost 10 touchdowns.
Yeah,
like,
I think they're 2 and 3 in yardage.
Yeah. Who's won? I forget who won is. Is it Cooper?
Diggs.
Oh, it's Diggs. Okay.
Stephon. But we got Mikey's cousin popping in, which brings us into our next topic. We're talking about Mr. Judge.
What?
Was worried he wasn't.
You were worried?
What?
Garrick, what are you doing, man? You weren't worried. Come on, with a name like Garrick.
Garrick.
Why is it a big deal? So this is something that. So this is like something that I brought up to all 3 of you guys a bunch of times. It's like I'm okay with him breaking the record, but I'm also okay with him the way he's hitting the ball. Like he's getting walks. He's not getting intentional walk. He's being patient at the plate. And I always said, is it really that big of a deal that if he hasn't broken the record, like if he went into the postseason and he's still at 61, is it a big deal?
Yes.
Like, and why? Because like, isn't a World Series championship more important than beating the record?
So honestly, here's the 2 perspectives I look at it from, right? Is from a New York Yankee perspective as an organization and a team, it's not that big of a deal because, yes, their goal is to win the 28th World Championship. That's more important than him breaking a record. But to the game of baseball and, like, the MLB office, it is a big deal because they want history. They want excitement in the game, and what's more exciting than a run at history, let alone 2 runs at history that we just had, pretty much fulfill other than the fact that Judge hasn't passed Maris yet. But we had Pujols get his 700th. We had Judge tie last night. For them and for the growth of the game, I think it's what they want.
It's like out with the old in with the new.
Right. And I've said it before, and it's another name that they can talk about, they can hype up as the face of the game, especially if Mike Trout's back is so bad that he ends up not being able to play as long as they thought.
Mm-hmm.
Judge is about to get a massive payday, obviously, and hopefully, as a
He earned it.
Yankee, he did earn it. And hopefully, as a Yankee, he is able to play out at least a 3/4 of, if not that entire contract. So now the MLB has a new face of the game locked in for at least 7 or 8 years.
You guys just hear that? Mike just said, hopefully he can play out that entire contract. Like, he's got this inside scoop. Breaking news. Judge has got the contract. Mike's on Mike's the new Woj.
Let's go,
Jamie, I know
Buster.
you had some good points about this. I wanted to hear your points. I know you had
Well,
some
he is
good
being hopeful, and right now, you better hope the Giants don't come knocking with a giant contract because he is a West Coast kid. But so here's what I think, right? When a player, because you have to also look at it like, yes, he's being very mature about it, and he's taking a team approach. He knows this is a magical season. Like, you don't tie Maris as a right-hander in the AL, and arguably the greatest season ever for anyone in the modern era, because he's the only one not marred at the moment with potentially being accused of and test show of being on PEDs. So that makes it even more special. Not only is it that he's hitting home runs, but he may win the Triple Crown in a year that he beats a record that has stood the test of time for ages. And they've had great hitters in the AL. Ken Griffey Jr. mainly being one that blows our mind. He didn't beat it. Frank Thomas had a chance as a power hitter to beat it. We had so many guys come along. You figure someone's going to take 6 years, even to the fact where Roger Maris Jr. sees this as the home run record because he thinks all the other guys cheated. So his dad is still the outright record holder. And right now, if you're a purist, you're thinking, why wouldn't you want to see this magical AL record? And for some, the MLB record being broken by someone who was on track all season long. For him to stall out all of a sudden and not break the record, it would take away a bit of the magic. Like, listen, there's times in sports where tying is cool, but you want something like this to happen and especially for you guys, because you might be at the damn game. So don't sit there and say you don't want to see this. Pat,
No rain out.
Yeah, pray that we don't have a rain out. Right now, I looked at the weather report, Jay, and it says 90% rain. So
shit. Tell them
rain and home runs, baby.
I'm hoping so. I'm sitting there with an umbrella. I'll be the only fan in there sitting there.
Mike will be behind the glass. I got you ponchos.
I mean, Pat, don't lie. You want Judge to have this record, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And I'd go even further and say, juice the man. I want to see him get. I want to see him get juice. I want to see him switch hit.
Juice.
Yeah, the dude has potential to hit 120 in a season if he's juiced.
Doesn't need to.
Why not? Why not? You know I'm going to take this shit off the rails. Jamie stole my point with the Triple Crown, so I had to do something else.
No, but like it brings up a good point about you said something about Maris Jr. saying that Bonds does not hold the record, and he brought some good points. He's like, he
does. You know what the hardest thing to do in any sport is hit a damn baseball.
But like here's the thing is like I can see why they're frustrated because they went and talked with McGuire that Mike said. I love Mike say it because he said it to me.
Yeah, so there's two guys that broke Maris's record. There's McGuire in 98 and then Bonds. McGuire in 98 was even more special to the Maris family because they grew up in St. Louis. For a lot of the time, Roger settled in St. Louis or in the St. Louis area for a long time after a Yankee. He was a Cardinal. It was a Cardinal the guy wearing a Cardinal jersey. He was nice to them. I mean, after he broke the record, he celebrated with his teammates. Yeah, and then he went to the stands, found them in their club box, and went up and hugged all of them. They were really close with Mark McGuire, and I think
during the game.
Yeah,
during the game.
Yeah.
His head was not in the game then. What the hell?
What?
His head was not in the game if he's going up and hugging.
Well, so they had stopped. They had stopped the game. Stopped the game. But the thing is I think
Mark, you got to get the first.
Mark, we're on defense.
McGuire rounds first and keep going to the stands.
Yeah.
He didn't even touch home.
So I think in the long run, the Maris family feels even worse. I would imagine feels even worse about the fact that McGuire, and he admitted to it, juiced to get the record, as opposed to Bonds. They really weren't that closely connected with Bonds.
So here's my thing: is I agree with Pat that it's very even though you're juicing, right? And I understand it's enhancing muscles and enhancing, your athleticism, but you still have to have the hand-eye coordination to hit a baseball.
You still
I
gotta
agree
hit
with
the
that.
damn
Like
ball,
you
man.
have to still be able to hit. Yes, is it going to go farther? Of course. But do I think it's wrong? Of course, because they suspended it in all sports. In all sports they suspend if you have PEDs. I've never seen it in basketball, but it'd be really weird if you saw like a gorilla type guy, boom, like
Shaq.
running around like what I'm saying, like jacked and everything, running around like trying to dunk and stuff. But it's like I don't know. I just see it as a different point because like I struck out so many times in baseball, so many times. So I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Right, but the
Yeah,
question
that's true.
I haven't witnessed.
Me and John played together for fucking years.
But here's the deal, right? We're talking about PEDs, right? What's the ESPN analyst? Jeff Passan, is that his name?
Yeah.
Jeff. So he was on PBS and he said something that was really, to me, it touched the string. He said, Babe Ruth and Maris, their PED was facing 80 to 85 mile per hour fastballs,
Yeah.
being superior hitters. So, like, you compare it to now, like guys that throw in 93 mile per hour sliders, right? And you're saying, in that time, for what you knew, 85 is what 95, 100 is now. But Judge and Bonds and McGuire and Sosa faced 95 to 100 more than any pitch, more than any batters in the history.
You can even
60,
go further
right?
and say Judge has even more a leg up on those guys.
Yep.
That is 2022 where pitchers are constantly throwing over 100.
Everybody throws
And
over.
And the thing is, he hits
sliders at a 95. So
that's the problem. Is that was the biggest thing they were saying why he wasn't getting the pitches
because changeup's 90.
He hits 100-mile-an-hour pitchers better than he does any changeups any type of breaking balls.
He also hits balls you put in the strike zone, and Toronto did a damn good job the other night of putting none in the strike zone.
Insane. 5 straight walks.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
5 over a course of 2 games.
Here's where I give him credit, because at that point, in those pitches, McGuire and Sosa and Bonds would have swung at those pitches and tried to hit it out and struck out. He was
not Bonds.
Yeah.
Bonds would hit stuff up by his chin and it would go out.
But I'm saying, like, the pitches that he was taking, it takes a lot of willpower not to chase that, because they were like right inside the zone. You know what I mean?
Because it's on his mind too, and
like when he gets out of the way,
close to the zone, you want to bite on it and not.
It was also a division clinching game too, right? So like more than his record, and that's why I give him a lot of credit. He really is showing to be a very mature athlete, not just a self-centered athlete in this magical year. So hands down, the guy should win AL MVP.
And on a payday year.
On a payday
and he's
year.
Still being a team player.
Like you bet on himself, and everyone's like, "Oh, it'll probably pay off for him." I don't think anybody imagined that it would pay off in the sense of the American League home run record.
What you
potentially triple crown?
Triple crown,
right?
You think he inspired Lamar Jackson a bit too? Lamar's like, here's a guy betting on himself who's just a human.
But I think Lamar needs to get himself an agent.
I agree.
That ain't happening. He doesn't.
I know it's not happening.
He doesn't want to give up 5%.
If he's an intelligent guy,
200 million instead of 140, give up the 5%. I don't get it,
dude. He's not Jacoby Brissett. He's not going to fumble the bag. Let's give him some credit.
That's the thing, is like he doesn't want to pay anybody. I don't think he trusts anybody. So I mean,
the money goes to his mom.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed either when it comes to be able to negotiate with these sharks in the room. So I just don't think it's a great move.
And I'm not saying
fuck big
he
business.
He should go after and like get the money, because like ultimately he deserves that $40 million more than Dak does.
Pay the man.
Absolutely.
Pay the man.
Absolutely.
Dak is not a $40 million quarterback. A $40 million.
He's not even the best quarterback on the roster. Who's got a winning record this year? Who's got a winning record?
The Eagles.
Who's undefeated as a starter?
The Eagles. Jalen Hurts.
We can transition this topic to any Eagles talk, and I'm here for it.
Anything else? Who doesn't score in the second half? The Eagles. No,
hey! Who doesn't need to? He doesn't need to.
Exactly. We don't need to. But yeah, I think Judge is going to win the Triple Crown MVP, and then he's going to win the World Series MVP when we host 28. Boom. Hot take. See you.
All right. Future us. We're right.
Actually, you know who hasn't scored in the second half this year? The Green Bay Packers. That's a
Is that
fact.
true?
Yep.
Well, there's no one to really throw to.
He's got, what do you mean, a random cob?
He's on some
Yes.
ayahuasca anyway.
And somehow they beat the Bucks on the road.
50-year-old Randall Cobb. Yes, how could I forget?
Yep.
Speaking of NFL,
Yeah.
we have this Sunday at 9:30 a.m. I don't know if you gentlemen will be watching the game, but I will.
Fuck yeah.
We have the NFL in London for the first time this year. The Giants get to go play the Packers next week in London. Yay. But that brings up the topic. As a North American created and solely based sport, both Canada and the US, does it make sense that this league is going overseas for games compared to some of the other major sports in America?
And obviously, we all understand it's all about money.
Right. So
it's all about money and everything like that. But I think the biggest thing is seeing hockey makes sense. Baseball makes sense. Soccer makes sense. It's a global sport. But NFL just doesn't. I mean, if they went to Canada and played, okay, because there's a CFL. But it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, heck, even
Pat, you're a huge football guy, so I want to hear your take.
Yeah.
I was waiting. When I made this up, I was like, I need to hear Pat's take on this.
Well,
because you love football.
I do love football. I'm kind of crossing between because football is American made, man. That is what America's about as of right now. It's not the pastime. We all know that's baseball. But with that being said, baseball and basketball is created in America, and it's very huge overseas. So, I mean, why not try to grow the game, show them what we're about, give the world another great thing that America created. NFL overseas, yeah. I don't want to see a franchise over there. I don't want to see a franchise over there.
That's the idea, though.
It doesn't make sense to have the Jaguars over there.
Playing the London Cheerios.
Silly nannies.
The tea panties.
I know Jamie's got something on this. So
look, unlike you guys, I'm used to waking up at 9:30 to look at games played in London, but they're played with the football, right? So, and here's what I think about this. Look, you got to act local, but think global. And the NFL has been doing this, and they try this. You guys remember the NFL Europe? Yes. When I was at UT, they actually had European teams who would come and practice at the UT at our soccer field because they didn't have a football team at UT, right. And they had a goalpost up there, and they would practice. I went out there and would talk to the guys out there, and none of them seemed super excited about it because I think they just thought that they're the B class, right? They're just going to be this little league to entertain people in between the seasons, and they'll have some fun, and maybe some of these guys could get signed to a roster as a practice player or something like that. But I do think that it adds to the fact that the NFL is thinking global. Put it this way, right? If the fastest growing fan of the NFL has been female over the past couple of years, you're appealing to the individual who will never play the sport. So what they've proven is that they can entertain anybody who's interested in sports. Now, Europeans obviously are football junkies, and I mean soccer, so they're soccer junkies, and nothing will ever come ahead of it, except in Finland where you have winter sports and shoot skiing or whatever it might be, right? And bobsled or whatever.
Skiing.
Yeah. Or whatever. Never mind, it's called.
To the windows, to the wall.
At the same time. So, I think it's a good idea. I think the NFL should venture out and play a couple of games in Europe and attract a different market. And hey, if it works out, and they want to go to freaking Japan and play a game in Japan, and they want to go to Australia, because guess what? They are recruiting people who play rugby.
I was just going to say that. Go to Australia. Go to New Zealand.
Australia rules football players have been kicking for teams, and they have players all over. In fact, a lot of college teams are reaching out to these Aussie rule football teams and saying, send guys over to us if they want to get an education. So why not go global?
If they want education, like the rest of the world doesn't get education.
To play football and get it.
Here's my question with it, though. Could there be like a hindrance to the growth of American football overseas because the rest of the world already has a sport they call football?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just call it American football, like I grew up calling it American football.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't think it'd be hindering because it'd be hindering the NFL. I don't think it'd be hindering the soccer leagues or anything.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like
Listen,
Jamie said,
You know what I think they should do? I think they should play every preseason game overseas.
Agreed.
And make the players play, which
Like
is
baseball.
people want to see the stars. So then you have to play the stars for at least a half. So then when week 1 rolls around, the quality of football is way up.
That'll never happen with the
broader fan base.
That'll never happen with the players union, though.
No.
It'll never.
Just
They
an
got to
idea.
travel and play
At
in
least,
preseason.
week 3, maybe.
Because guys like Aaron Rodgers will just say, you know, then I'll retire.
Right.
Exactly.
Guys,
Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe we're on to
There's
something.
there's already a lot of guys out there. I mean, this is something that I've learned and I've listened to guys' interviews after they done playing. A lot of these guys, not a lot, but maybe a good handful of these guys don't like playing football, but they're just so good at it that they just make their money and get out. That's why I see some of them would be 5-6 years out of the league, and then they make their $25 million and go on. I mean, you can do a lot with a $25 million. So, you know, a lot of them don't like it. So, like, you're asking them to go play over there and then, like, mandatory play those extra 3 games. Like, that's crazy. But, I mean, I get what you're saying, Jamie, just to grow the appearance and not take away from regular season home games. I get what you mean on that.
Well, like you said, John, it's I think at the end of the day, one of the things the NFL league office really wants out of this is to test the waters really in these markets of could we put a franchise here or move a franchise here if we wanted to. It would not. I think initially the plan before Vegas for the Raiders was Mexico City because there's a ton of Raiders fans down there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll never cross the players union.
No way, dude.
It'll never cross. It'll never cross.
I don't want to live in cartel nation.
I don't think they have final say over the owners.
Yeah, they don't have.
They don't have final say, but they have final say where they play.
Yeah, but they'll go.
There'll be a lockout for the next CBA.
It's a league.
Next CBA will be lockout.
It's a league.
And that'll be one of the lockouts.
They can't do that on relocation.
They can't.
No,
they can do it for salary, player benefits, player treatment, like different things.
That'll be their benefit.
That they're endowed.
Well, yeah. But the teams will go get players that want that.
I just don't see. I never liked the London games because I never went up. I'm not, like I try to do my.
That's a personal thing.
Wake up, then.
Yeah, wake up.
No, I'm up, but I'm always doing other things. Like I'm doing other things. Like I don't have time. I'm so glad the Eagles haven't played there because
they did.
When
they played the Jaguars.
Yeah, like
it's someone versus the
Giants.
I
know that for a fact. I didn't watch.
That was
like
2 years ago against Gardner Minshew.
Morning, and I was like, "Are you watching the game?" And you said, "No."
Yeah, like I'm not like from like I already watch all day football as it is. So like,
right?
It's
like,
amazing.
that morning time for me personally, like that morning time I spend with my wife. You know, do some house duties, and then like the rest of the day, 1 to 8, I'm watching football. Or on Saturday, I'm doing the same thing.
Right.
Like I'm strategizing my day that way. So,
all right, how about the people who have nothing going on in the morning? They're hungover and they're like, "Oh fuck yes, football's on." Thank you.
At 9 a.m. What?
I open my eyes and football's in my face, man. I love it. Give it to me. Give me like just all over my face football, please.
And once again, we are
on that note,
show.
I'll let that comment sit there real quick.
Put Pat on the big screen over here.
You don't want that. You don't want that. Look at Jimmy Page back there. That's me in football, baby. That's me in football.
But you know, I think I don't know. I just don't think it'll ever happen. To be honest with you, I don't think NFL will ever expand that far out. I just don't think it will happen. Like I don't think the owners want to go there.
I think the next logical expansion for the NFL is Canada.
Yeah, go to Toronto.
Please. They're already playing football,
right? Go to Toronto. Go to like Montreal. Go to Vancouver.
Most American sports have.
I think you got a lot more people going
to Vancouver.
Experience.
Right. Go pair up with like an NHL team.
An owner.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
NHL owner that wants a team up.
That's actually the smartest.
I'm surprised there's no more
baseball franchise move.
There should be. The Expo should still be a thing.
Yeah,
the Expo should be a thing.
The Expo should absolutely be a thing.
Best ever. One of the best logos ever.
Yes.
I think the NFL is.
I gotta get Montreal hat. Damn.
Yeah.
I think the NFL is so focused on getting into markets that the other major big 4 sports leagues in America aren't in.
Well, it's a money trap at the end of the day. When you go to
Right.
Philadelphia, you can catch if you play it outright, you can catch a Phillies game, 76ers and an Eagles game all in one weekend if you really want to.
I've done it.
Yeah. So like you can do that,
Right.
and a lot of these guys are the same owners of. I mean, obviously, I think the 76ers and the Flyer owner are the same owner, and then the Eagles obviously is Jeffrey Lurie, but you know. It benefits them money wise. Like, okay, well, I can have 3 teams play.
White Sox and Bulls.
You know, so it's
White Sox and Bulls have the same owner.
Yeah.
The Rangers and Knicks have the same owner.
Yep.
So,
Oh, sorry.
that's why you guys suck.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. That makes a lot of
That makes sense.
Well, the one good thing I can say as a Rangers fan is that Dolan is so focused on trying to be involved with the Knicks and being in basketball, he leaves the Rangers alone.
Yeah, no, he went and drafted for the Knicks a hockey player by accident.
Yeah. You do
Why
know,
is Jeffrey Dolan at the freaking Rangers draft for the Knicks?
I said, James, you do know we're supposed to get hockey players from Latvia, right? Not basketball.
They're all the same to him.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what the NFL does. I agree. I think the more likely of the two that they plan right now is Mexico City, just because it's closer to other teams. Like, it's not. I mean, I know there's a border, but like the Texans are there, Cardinals are there, the Cowgirls are there.
Well, look, we know it's going to be a low-quality game, but on the sake of us talking about the game, who wins this weekend, the Vikings or the Saints?
Vikings.
Defense.
No, you know what? I'm gonna go on a limb. Saints.
I was going to take the Saints too because I think last week was an embarrassment to the franchise. So I'm taking.
I think it's going to be the Vikings, and if there's a franchise anytime soon that's put in London, the first expansion draft pick is Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, okay.
Because that is a London Silly Nannies type pick.
That dude belongs.
And I swear, if they are not named the London Silly Nannies, for those of you that
No, they'll probably be called like the London Roar and have a lion on the helmet or something.
Something like that.
No, that's blasphemy.
Royals.
That's our guy.
The London King Charleses.
The King Charles.
The London Kingdoms.
They're going to be the Big
London,
Bens.
they're better than you.
It's going to be the clock on one side and Robert's
going to be
on the other.
London Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
Have the Queen on their helmet.
So we used to own you, and now you send your best sport over here. Okay.
Yo, okay. All right. I flip. Yeah, get a franchise over there.
Right?
1776. People don't forget.
They said the four cities most likely to have a franchise would be London, Berlin, Amsterdam,
Yeah.
and I think Paris was the other one.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Amsterdam had a really good team. No,
Fucking Ricky Williams going to own the team?
if they expand into if they
coming out of retirement,
teams into
We're
Europe,
gonna fly over there.
You would take a hockey player in
No,
the draft.
I would too.
Him.
That guy.
Yeah.
Hot dog vendor.
Yeah.
Okay, Ricky, go ahead. I like his moxie.
No, if they
his
start expanding heavily into Europe and they don't bring back the Berlin Thunder, I'll be upset.
Berlin Thunder.
The Berlin Thunder.
Is that a real thing?
NFL Europe. They were I think
Holy
they were
shit.
the most successful team in NFL Europe.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was an NFL Europe. So.
I'm taking your word for
You
this,
didn't know
bro.
there was an NFL Europe, John?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
I didn't even know.
Thanks, Pat.
What?
High five.
Yeah, high five.
High five.
USA. USA.
Where's my flag?
I just love we win World War II and shove football down everyone's throat.
NFL Europe was where Kurt Warner got another shot to play football after he was
Yep.
bagging groceries.
My dude.
And then the Rams signed him out of NFL Europe.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The more you know.
I'm too busy about the whole sports that we have going on now. We got basketball, hockey, football, baseball World Series, got college football, got college basketball starting back up. Is this the best time of the year?
Volleyball.
Volleyball?
No.
Somewhere.
Beach?
Over in California.
Volleyball all
downtown.
over the deuce, really. Though.
Do you guys look forward to this time of the year every time when all the sports are rolling at once?
Yeah.
Especially because of like what I said on our a few shows ago about COVID and like I was like bored out of my mind when there was no sports. So
I watched rock skipping competitions.
I committed.
I had to watch some
money.
sporting event.
I actually I will actually watch the entirety of the Johnsonville ACL Cornhole Championship.
That's where Mike learned about European.
And somehow they were virtual.
Yeah.
So I'll take the first swing at this. The fall classics, pretty incredible. It ups the ante on like the game of baseball. If people don't watch it and hate on it, they should definitely watch playoff baseball. But I'll make an argument for this year with the World Cup being towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then basketball doesn't really matter until the Christmas games, and hockey gets pretty exciting as well around that time. We have college basketball in full swing. We have NFL Saturday games coming up, which means the playoffs are around the corner. I'm gonna take more, and I just kind of love the whole format of the Christmas games and everything like that. I'm gonna go more for the end of the year for me being the best time for sports.
Don't forget about the college football bowl games and national.
That's right, bowl games and everything. So, yep.
I absolutely see your point. But this is around the time of year, like October is the time of year I look forward to most, and it's simply from a personal perspective. Baseball is my favorite sport.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey's my second favorite sport. So we get the kickoff of hockey mixed with exciting playoff baseball. That's the best time for me. On top of the fact that we've, like I said, they got the NFL going on, college football. It is, as far as teams I root for, it is the time of year I look forward to most because they're all playing.
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree with that. And like ultimately, I like it because I can. You guys see my setup where I have four screens going at once, so I can just set up
multiple sports.
I have multiple sports going. I got playoff baseball. I got 2 NFL games, and then I got like a hockey game if I really wanted to, or switch it around. It doesn't matter where it is.
Hey, you could put on a live golf tournament, just for the sake of having golf.
His favorite sporting event.
Yeah.
Coming to Fox soon, just for John.
Use the word live. Come on. Live a little.
Live a little.
I mean, it's still golf. I just don't understand their format because I don't understand the team. Like, I don't understand the live.
All right. We're not, we're not talking about that anymore.
My golf.
I'm like,
wait a minute, I still want to be here.
He just holds Mike's hand and says we're leaving.
Making these decisions for himself when there's a duo going on right there. He's like,
Right.
come on,
How do I get half the screen?
Damn, Mike, you can stay with me, man. No, October is the sport month, man. You got every game, any sport. It's being played weekday, weekend. I love it. I'm watching BYU, Utah State right now because I don't got Amazon Prime, or else I'd be watching NFL. I just explained it, Mike.
He doesn't have Prime.
I don't have Prime.
I know, but there are other options.
Well, yeah, South Carolina
been a great game.
Just running away. Anywho,
watch preseason.
the fact is, it's fucking Thursday, and I'm watching a college football game that matters, not preseason hockey.
Yeah, I mean, like that game actually sounded like if it was this is last year, that game would have been great.
Yeah,
because that would have been 2 ranked opponents.
I mean, it's pretty good right now. BYU's got
Utah
nice
State still ranked or no? They're not ranked.
No, they're 1 and 2.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, but last year
BYU is ranked. You're getting a ranked team on a Thursday night game.
Yeah, so they got a good team. So
yes, sir.
I will say though that it's one of the roughest times of the year as someone who's into sports betting, because baseball becomes too hard to predict. Like it just becomes ridiculous towards this time of the year. And the NFL at about week 4 becomes whoever the hell feels like winning this week, especially this year. And now you're starting to get conference matchups in college football. So teams aren't going to win by 40, 50 and cover the spread. So it becomes an impossible time almost for somebody to feel secure about their weekend and putting their salary on the line. Hoping on Sunday they don't wake up feeling like they're going to get beat up by their bookie, or on Monday feeling like they're on top of the world. Right time.
That is the only reason why Pat's watching the BYU game. He bet his whole mortgage on it.
Salary.
I'm covering.
He hasn't looked away from the TV once in his whole show.
$10. 10. That's it. 500. 500.
I'll give you my mortgage, my house if they win. If I lose, then you have my house. So
make or break right here.
Touchdown BYU. No,
I just think it's a great time. I mean, and this goes back to like what I said a few episodes ago with COVID and everything. Like it was literally like I didn't know I loved sports that much, but like I was so bored. I got so tired of Netflix, Hulu. I got so tired of those streaming services and everything because I was just like, what do I watch? Oh, another movie.
You know
Okay,
why?
cool.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because sports is the best television for viewership. You
Agreed.
don't know what's going on. Fuck the Kardashians. It's the best sporting event on television.
But did John send you that video that was so funny about the guy talking about his girlfriend? It's like I'm dating a psycho. Didn't you send me that?
Oh yeah,
dating a psycho. It's like serial killer, and cupcakes.
Oh yeah.
She knows how to kill somebody in 4 different ways, and then bakes a cake for him.
Yeah, that's why women hate sports.
You can't.
They be watching football. They're like, wait, they're not going to kick his head off. This isn't violent enough for me.
You can't watch 6 hours of serial killers and then wash it down with British Bake Off.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah. But it's true though. Like, it's like, what the fuck? But I think it's time for.
Is it time?
I think it's time.
Is it time?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Time for what? What?
I'm so happy I got the bell because I didn't even.
All right, Jay.
That was a complete guess, man. I didn't know. It was
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to have our panel back on because now we're actually going to get 4 questions where we get to test each other on our sports knowledge. We pretend to not cheat, but hey, who cares? We're going to get 2 or 1 points this week since we have a full house. The person with the most points at the end of Stump the Squad gets the rant of the week. And in honor of Pat in the Hat being back on the show, Pat, would you like to lead us this week in Stump the Squad?
Yeah, and I really hope I get the rant too. Just saying, if you guys want to throw for me.
By the way, while you were gone, we essentially decided that we're just going to do 2 points for everybody now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
We made it.
So I'm going to go 1 point for all you guys. All right.
Okay. All right. Watch, he would win. He would win like that.
We were talking about.
Maybe we need to bring in like a 5-pointer at some point, and you risk it for the biscuit.
3-point jump shot.
You know how College Game Day has like Bear and he pops up in the screen.
Yeah,
we gotta have like Trey do something like that, and then he pops up here like for like the like.
You remember the Kanye? Remember the Kanye album when he had the bear mask? Like he had the
yeah,
he has to wear one of those and be like, "What up?" and just that's it. And then he's gone. He just pops in for 3 seconds and he's gone.
Yeah, can someone be Lee Corso and like do the helmets every week?
How good would that be?
I got Riley right next to me. I'll give you guys a quick Riley shot.
No, 84, but give me a second. It's gonna take me 4 minutes to turn around.
Pat, she's too hyper.
There, I'll
calm down.
I'd have a
over your legs.
All right, what's your question?
Nope.
All right, so Riley, Cam, they're my question.
Your legs.
He's so tired.
This is a family show.
Dad,
they're good girl.
You're raising her right.
All right, so anywho, we're talking about Aaron Judge getting the American League record, and currently Barry Bonds has the record, steroids used, blah, blah, blah. Anywho, in 2004, how many times was Barry Bonds intentionally walked?
Wow.
They just said this.
Was it A, 120, B, 125, C, 115, or D, 140?
D.
D's nuts.
120.
What letter?
It's an
120 was A. It's 20, 25, 15, and 40.
Your memory is good.
That's 2 seconds ago.
I forgot it.
I think 140 seems kind of ridiculous, but why not? Let's go with the ridiculous answer, D.
2 D's and A. The correct answer is A, 120. Michael, that's correct. And just to give you comparison, Jesus Christ, or conspiracy, whatever guys you want to do. Judge intentionally walked 18 times this year.
Yeah.
That's how ridiculous Barry Bonds was intentionally walked, and 2 times with bases loaded.
Wow.
All right, who's next, Pat?
I'll go the single box up there, Grandpa J.
All right. Well, we're gonna stick with baseball, and
I'm going 1.
This, all you guys are huge Yankees fans. I definitely will not give any trivia on Yankees fans. We know that the man of the hour right now, Mr. Aaron Judge, was the 32nd overall pick for the Yankees. But the other man of the hour on the other coast in the NL, who is doing remarkable things, Mr. Pujols, was left for dead up until the Cardinals decided to have a little faith in their original draft pick, who they drafted in 1999. But can you guys tell me what round he was drafted in?
I've never seen this.
Was it the 3rd round, the 5th round, the 13th round, or the 10th round? 3, 3rd, 5th, 13th, or 10th? 3rd, 5th, 13th, 10th.
I don't know which finger's which.
You're freaking me out, man.
I'm playing a magic trick on you.
I'm just gonna look at your painting.
Is it 4?
Just tell me the round that he was drafted in.
I'm going C, 13th.
I think that was D. I'm just joking.
Hey, D.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 13.
Yeah, I think it's 13.
Gentlemen, you are all correct. He was drafted in the
Hey!
13th round out of a JUCO in that he played. Actually, he played in a JUCO college in Missouri. So
Did he?
he's a local product.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Damn,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
All right.
All right. So that means all of you guys.
One of us.
Which one was this next?
You'll go next.
I feel like can join.
Please stump Mike. Mike cannot win this week.
Yeah.
Please
Huh?
stump Mike.
Me?
No, John, you go. We need to stump Mike. He can't score points in the last round.
All right, so
Keep-
the score is
keep
me
it
0. All right.
Keep it a classic Cinco Squad, and you guys talk at the same time.
It's fine.
Who has the most leadoff home runs for a lefty?
Left.
Was it Ted Williams,
Yes.
Curtis Granderson,
Yes. Yes.
Ichiro Suzuki,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
or Tony Gwynn?
Tony Gwynn.
Who has the most leadoff home runs for a lefty?
Tony Gwynn, because his batting stats are ridiculous. D.
Mike?
What were the answers again? Ted Williams. Tony
Curtis
Gwynn.
Granderson, Ichiro Suzuki, Tony Gwynn. Pat?
I think. Pat, go ahead. Let me think for a second.
Randy, man.
Yeah, I think it's Granderson.
And stump.
And I have successfully stumped Jamie. It is
Yeah.
Curtis Granderson with 47.
Bro, he won. Mike just won,
Just
bro.
solid.
And then you guys can catch him. He's at 6.
He's at 4.
Oh, yeah, I
He's
could
at
catch him.
6.
I've gotten all 3 of them right.
I could catch him if I
We're
could.
on 3?
Yeah, I'm the last one to go.
So we're done. You freaking won again.
No,
I'm outta here.
I could catch him.
Take me out. I don't even want to answer this question.
Yeah.
If you get it right.
Yeah, he's at
Time
4.
it.
If I get it right, I could tie you.
He's at 4.
Oh, Pat's at 4. Okay.
So you have to get this wrong.
I was joking about 1 point.
I'm not asking the question.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You know what? Stop yelling at me.
I'll do the tiebreak if Pat gets it right.
I like you guys in one box.
Okay. It's on my phone, so you can't see it.
I'm getting my own screen.
Okay, so oddly enough, Pat, you have to get wrong a question that you might actually have researched. Who gave up Barry Bonds' 73rd home run? A. Greg Maddux. D. Dennis Springer. C. Chan-Ho Park. Or D. Jason Grimsley.
Chan-Ho Park.
John says Chan-Ho Park.
Oh, man.
One more time.
A. So we're looking for the pitcher.
Yeah, I know. That's the answer.
Barry Bonds' 73rd home run.
Yeah.
A. Greg Maddux.
Yeah.
B. Dennis Springer. C. Chan-Ho Park. Or D. Jason Grimsley. John has said Chan-Ho Park.
He was the under, right?
Who's
Okay.
B?
Underneath.
No, that was Byung Young Kim.
Oh.
He is
With
Who's
Diamondback.
Who's
Park
B?
was actually a Yankee.
Yum yum game.
Byung Young Kim. He's also a Red Sox. Byung Young Kim.
Just sounds like it. Yum yum game.
Yum, yum, yum. It was actually not that good.
I'll go
Who's B?
Grimsley.
So hold on. You guys said it at
B.
the same time.
B.
D.
So
Grimsley.
okay, so John says Chan-Ho Park, Pat says Jason Grimsley, Jamie says Dennis Springer.
Yeah.
I have successfully stumped and won because I stumped John and Pat. It was Dennis Springer.
Yeah.
That's the one, right?
That was a 50-50 shot. God
Should have
damn.
followed my lead, Pat.
Yeah.
There we go
And
again.
as far as solo winners, I had now have a
There we go again.
I thought it said 27 champion. I was like, what
yes.
the hell?
I've won my 27th champion. I'm now a Yankee.
Fucking shut
right,
it down.
All right, so hold on, I gotta find the graphic. Mike's rant of the week. So I'm gonna take a moment to
Should
say,
we start calling this Mike's Rant of the Week?
yeah, pretty much.
I'll come back.
Yeah, you can sit down. So I just want to take a second to speak as a Yankee fan. Get out of here.
John, face the corner.
Get out of there.
Yeah, you get in the corner. As a Yankee fan, how happy and amazed I am at the season we've gotten to see from Aaron Judge. I know we've talked about it a lot during this show, but just on a personal note, I think it's been awesome to witness history like this because it's not something that, as a baseball fan, you really ever think you would see. Because as we've said before, like it's only happened with a handful of guys. You know, Ruth, Maris, Sosa, McGuire, Bonds, now Judge. No one's really even. I mean, Stanton had good seasons. Obviously, in recent memory, Pete Alonso's had good seasons, Prince Fielder, Miguel Cabrera. But to be this close and to be able to root for not only a guy to get history, but a guy on your favorite team to get history like this and to see him lead the charge for a potential World Series winner, I think is awesome. So I'm very happy. God. Well, going off the rails. No, I'm very happy, and I'm excited to see him break the record.